Okay, it's time to check lesson 102. Our work started with number 6. 80% of those who were invited to the party came. 40 people were invited. How many did not come? So I created my ratio box, or my percent and actual count box. So I said my categories were going to be those that did come, that came, didn't come, and the total invited. So it said that 80% of those who were invited came. So 80% came, 20% did not come, and so the total invited would be the 100%. And it said 40 people were invited, so they want to know how many people did not come. So I circled the did not come ones, got rid of this category. My proportion is 20 over 100 is equal to some number over 40. I did my cross multiplying, and the ones that didn't come totaled 8. Number 7. Number 7 says the dress was on sale for 60% of the regular price. Okay, so you could have solved this with an original change new chart. I'll go ahead and do it that way and then show you the other way you could have done it. So it told me the new percent was 60%. So if I know my 100% is the original percent, it must have taken off 40% to get the new percent of 60. And it says $24 is the sale price. They want to know the regular price. So I got rid of this. 100 over 60 is equal to original over 24. Do my cross multiplying, and you get that the original is $40. On this one, you could have said, well, $24 is the sale price, and that is 60% of some other number. So you could have said that $24 equals 60% of what number? Okay, and then you would divide both sides by 0.6. You would still end up with $40. Number 10. Number 10 says, exit polls showed 7 out of 10 voters cast their ballot for the incumbent. Now, the incumbent means the person who already holds that office, but they are running again to try to stay in that office. So 7 out of 10, that means 7 were voted for the incumbent out of the total of 10. That means that out of 10 votes, 3 must have been for not the incumbent. So it tells us 14,000 votes were received for the incumbent. They want to know how many total people were surveyed. So I put 1,400 on the incumbent. I circled the total category. I can get rid of this category. So my proportion is 7 out of 10 is equal to 1,400 out of total. Do my cross multiplying, and the total number surveyed was 2,000 people. Now B says, what percent of the people did not vote for the incumbent? So we're talking about this number, 3 out of 10, which I can say make this bottom 100 by multiplying the top and the bottom by 100, or I can say 0.3 for 3/10 times 100%, bump, bump. 30% is my total for the ones who did not vote for the incumbent. Number 11. Number 11. This one, a problem where we have to evaluate. I got to replace all my x's with 3 and all my y's with -2. And remember, it's nice to go ahead and just, when we take these variables out, make our new numbers be in parentheses so we can see what's going on. Okay, so instead of x plus xy minus xy, I have 3 plus 3 times -2 minus 3 times -2. I'm going to do this multiplication before I add or subtract. 3 times -2 is -6. 3 times -2 is -6. So now I have 3 plus -6 minus -6. 3 plus a -6 is -3. Instead of subtracting, I'm going to add the opposite. A -3 plus a +6 gives me a +3. Number 12. Number 12 says to determine whether this triangle could be a right triangle. So we learned that right triangles have to follow the rule of the long side, the longest side has to be the hypotenuse side, and the square of it has to be equal to the square of the other two sides added together. Okay, so what I did was I took the longest side on that triangle, it's 14. So that has to be, like in our Pythagorean theorem when we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The hypotenuse side always has to be right here, the longest side. So I put the longest side here, I put the legs here, and then I just worked it out to see if the left side of the equal sign equaled the right side of the equal sign. 8 squared is 64, 10 squared is 100, 100 plus 64, 14 squared is 196. 164 does not equal 196. So this triangle could not be a right triangle because the squares of the legs added do not equal the square of the hypotenuse. Number 16 has to do with our transversal. Number 16, it says transversal Q crosses parallel lines L and M. What angle corresponds to angle C? So here's angle C. The corresponding angle would be, okay, angle C is below the first parallel line and to the left of the transversal. So we need to look to see another angle that is below a parallel line and to the left of the transversal, and it's here. Okay, so angle G corresponds to angle C. B says which angle is the alternate interior angle to angle E. Okay, so here's angle E. Alternate interior. Alternate means an angle that's on the opposite side of the transversal, and interior means that it's inside of the parallel lines. Well, angle D is the only one that meets that. Okay, so angle D and angle E are alternate interior angles. C says which angle is the alternate exterior angle to angle H. So here's H. Alternate means the angle we're looking for has got to be on the other side of the transversal. Exterior means it needs to be outside the parallel lines. So it's angle A. A and H are alternate exterior angles. D says angle A measures 110 degrees. What is the measure of angle F? Okay, well, remember when we have a transversal that intersects parallel lines, half of our angles that are created will be acute angles, half will be obtuse angles. All the acute angles measure the same, all the obtuse angles measure the same. So I'm going to just say if angle A measures 70, angle B is the supplementary angle to it. Or rather, if angle A measures 110, angle B is supplementary to it, so it has to be 70. B is an acute angle, so all the acute angles here measure 70. All the obtuse angles measure 110, so angle F has to measure 70 degrees. 17. What number is 125% of 84? What number is 125% of 84? So I just changed 125%. To get rid of that percent, I divided by 100. That backed my decimal up 2 times. So I need to figure out what number is 1.25 times 84. You should have gotten a 105. B says, what number is 25% more than 84? So I have an increase in percent, so that triggered me to write an original change new chart. Okay, when I see an increase or a decrease in percent, that's what I automatically think of to do. So an increase of 25%. So that allowed me to build my percent category. The original percent is 100. Increase of 25%. My new percent must be 125. So they want to know what number is 25% more than 84. 84 was our original number. We want to know what's 125% more than that. So we're looking for this number. I can get rid of this. 100 over 125 is equal to 84 over the new number. And you should have gotten 105 as well. Number 18. Okay, number 18 says, if the chance of rain is 40%, what are the odds it will not rain? Okay, so if it said it's 40, the chance of rain is 40%. Okay, so I've got these backwards. Chance of rain is 40%. What are the odds it will not rain? Okay, remember odds are what we want over the other options. Okay, So that would mean if it's going to be a 40% chance that it rains, 60% chance it will not rain. Okay, so they're asking us about the odds it will not rain. So I need to compare not rain to rain. So we're talking about not rain to rain. Okay, so that's 60 to 40, 60% to 40%. That reduces to 3 to 2. Okay, so odds, it's not out of the total, it's what we want compared to all the other options. Okay, number 19. So we've got a rectangular prism there, and they want us to find the volume. Now we might have gone back to our old formula for volume, length times width times height, or I just went ahead and practiced our new formula for volume. Area of the base times the height. On this figure, this rectangular prism, the area of the base essentially is length times width, right? So area of the base measures 6 by 4, that gives us 24 feet squared. Height is 3, 24 feet squared times 3 feet is 72 feet cubed. Number 20. They want us to find the circumference and area of the circle that has a radius of 7 meters. They want us to use 22 over 7 for pi. So circumference, pi times diameter. So they use this for pi. If the radius is 7, the diameter is 14. Okay, then I can reduce here. 22 times 2, 44 meters for the circumference. B is area, pi r squared. R is 7. 7 squared is 49. So this reduces and this reduces, 1 and 7. 22 times 7 is 154 meters square. Number 25. Number 25, so we have 3x plus 3 to the 0 equals 49. Okay, so part of this is things that we've done before, like collect like terms, and then part of it is solving expressions. Okay, so I combined my 3x and my x, and I got 4x. Anything to the 0 is 1. So now I have 4x plus 1 is equal to 49. So what's the term with the variable? 4x. What's happening to 4x? It's being added by 1. So how do I undo that? Subtract by 1 on both sides. So then I get 4x is equal to 48. Now what's happening to x? It's being multiplied by 4. How do I undo that? Divide by 4 on both sides. X is equal to 12. Number 26. 3y plus 2 equals y plus 32. So I wanted to get my y's together first. So I can remove this y from this side by subtracting y on both sides. Subtract a y, subtract a y. These y's are gone. 3y minus 1y give me 2y. So now I have 2y plus 2 is equal to 32. Now what's happening to the term with the variable? It's being added by 2. How do I undo that? Subtract by 2 on both sides. So these are gone. Now I have 2y is equal to 30. Now what's happening to y? It's being multiplied by 2. How do I undo that? Divide by 2 on both sides. Y is equal to 15. Number 27. Extra step in here, we got to distribute. So I'm going to distribute this 2. So then I just carried my x down here. 2 times x is positive 2x. Positive 2 times positive 3 is positive x is equal to 36. Now I want to combine my like terms. My x's are like. X plus 2x give me 3x. Now I rewrite. 3x plus 6 is equal to 36. What's happening to the term with the variable? It's being added by 6. How do I undo that? Subtract by 6 on both sides. So now this is gone. I have 3x is equal to 30. Now what's happening to x? It's being multiplied by 3. How do I undo that? Divide by 3 on both sides. Then I get x is equal to 10. Number 28. We've got some multiplication here. So I'm going to multiply my number parts together. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. X squared times another x is x cubed times another x is x to the 4th. Y times y squared is y to the 3rd. Final answer is negative 6, x to the 4th, y to the 3rd. Okay, combine like problem, like terms. Here's an x, here's an x. So I've got negative 3x here and another negative x. That gives me negative 4 x's. combine my y's, positive 2y, negative 1y, positive 2, and negative 1 make positive 1y. So negative 4x plus y. This one we have quantity negative 2xy squared to the second. So I just said, well, to the second means this times itself. So that's what I did here. So then I multiply the number parts together. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. X times x is x squared. Y squared times y squared is y to the fourth. 4x squared, y to the fourth. Number 29. 4.5 times 2/10 as a decimal times 10 squared. So I did the squaring, got 100. The 4.5 I changed to 4.5. Then what I did was I multiplied 4.5 times 0.2 and I got 0.9. Then I multiplied that times 100 and I got 90. Last one, number 30. So we had some stuff to do up here. We got some subtraction over here. So negative 4 times positive 3 is negative 12 over negative 2. Instead of subtracting a negative, I'm going to add the opposite. Negative 12 divided by negative 2 is positive 6. Plus 1 gives me an answer of 7. Okay, this was kind of a long checking video. I hope you guys did well, and I hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.